Public service announcement. Colorists will be blocked.
What up, y'all?
Josh and Isi here once again.
With another quality video. So today's topic is actually about, would you say colorism?
Yeah.
This topic has come up kind of a lot of times through our recent video. And then also I got a DM today. So I'm gonna let Josh explain why he felt that it was important to make this video or have this conversation and dialogue, and then I'll explain mine too.
So what stemmed this for me is someone always asking me, I've gotten the question multiple times, like, how is it dating a dark-skinned girl and being light-skinned?
Really?
It's weird.
I didn't know you got it from
It's a very weird question to ask, because like I'd never even take that into consideration when I think about her.
And vice versa.
Like, I don't think in our entire relationship, even when we were as friends, did I think to myself, you know, this might not work because she's dark-skinned and I'm light-skinned. Like, I've never understood that there should not be a personality change in dark-skinned and light-skinned people. It's been created in the mind.
Wait, what do you mean personality change?
Like, people feel like dark-skinned and light-skinned people have different personas. It's almost like racism. It basically is just like racism, except it's just within our people.
What stemmed for me, I'm gonna read you guys this DM, but I'm gonna keep the person anonymous. I woke up to someone commenting on one of the Instagram story pictures that I posted yesterday, and it said, I'm trying to calculate how you're a dark-skinned and got a light-skinned guy to like you. I know it sounds so stupid and racist and discouraging, but I swear I'm gorgeous, and it's like no guys like me because they always choose my lighter friends over me, and it's starting to get to me. I'm happy for you, I swear I am, but damn, it's hard AF being a dark-skinned woman these days. So, what rubbed me wrong about it is just how she started it off. I completely understand the context of what she's trying to say, but to say I'm trying to calculate how you're dark-skinned and got a light-skinned guy to like you, it was like, it kind of took me back a little bit. And I even asked Josh, like, am I wrong for feeling some type of way about this? Because like he said, when we first started dating or even as friends, the thought of him being light-skinned that doesn't really occur to me. Or like, it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like how you're saying you've gotten before, like, how's it dating a dark-skinned girl or something like that. I have had people kind of say like, oh, you like light-skinned guys just because I'm with a light-skinned guy. But neither one of us got with each other because of complexion. Like, it had nothing to do with it. So it kind of threw me off when she asked that, because I'm like, how do I get a light-skinned guy to like my dark-skinned self? What do you mean? But I feel like a lot of girls have that mentality. And I will say with this DM too, before we keep going, I don't think she had any malicious intent behind it. It was just the way it was worded. So I did respond back to her saying, like, you know, I had to like reread this a couple of times, but knowing her personality, I know she didn't mean it that way. But she did end up DMing me back, like apologizing, but also saying I guess she went to the club recently and all her other friends are light skinned, and she had this experience where no guys like looked her way or that she knows of were interested in her. They were only interested in her light skinned friends. So you kind of just feel like not excommunicated, but like, what is the word?
The oddball out?
Yeah. She felt like the oddball out. So I guess that's why she said she was like really in her feelings. So when she saw that we had a 4-year anniversary and a light-skinned guy stayed with a dark-skinned girl, it's like teach me your ways. But like I said, there was no formula to make this happen. And it absolutely had nothing to do with complexion. And I think it's just so unfortunate that like her reality is a lot of girls' reality. So that's why I was like, I've never experienced it personally of having to like deal with a guy not liking me for my complexion, because I feel like I just don't attract those type of people anyway, or I don't care to. But I also feel like through that experience too, her DMing me that, I was talking to Josh about it, and I was wondering, I was like, I wonder, does she only close herself to light-skinned guys only? Because it shouldn't be that big of a deal if like you're around light-skinned guys and they're not really into you. There's plenty of people in the sea. You know what I mean? So it's like, why do you want to be with a light-skinned guy anyway? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and to build off of that, I honestly feel as though we're coming upon a generation that's been brainwashed by society to think that just by the fairness of your skin,
that's been a generation.
Yes, I know, and it's been like,
but you're saying it keeps repeating itself in different forms.
Yeah, it keeps repeating itself in different forms.
Okay,
it's like it used to be because you were white and we were black that we were separated. But now, even as a people, we're trying to separate ourselves. Or the house slaves were light skin, or the paper bag test. Like, this has been going on. It really
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it hurts my feelings to be in that position as a society or as a race, to where like we can't even coexist with each other based on like the complexion of how black we are. Like, you're not as black, so you're ineptly different.
Or you're too black, or you're pretty for a black or a dark skinned girl, like stuff like that.
That stuff just bugs me. And I feel as though when people are choosing life partners,
complexion should be not even on that list.
Be on the back end of the list.
I don't even think it should be on there at all.
I understand that you have to be attracted to the person physically.
So attraction has to do with skin. So that's what's weird for me, and why this is such an interesting conversation, because I've never been attracted to a person based off their complexion.
Exactly.
Ever. It's like, oh, you have a nice face, but like, I would still date Josh if he was dark skinned. It's his face and then his personality that got me. Not, oh, that's a light skinned boy, I'm gonna get like. That's never crossed my mind, but I know a lot of people really think like that. And I think there's like two sides to the spectrum, because it's unfortunate when you put yourself in the bubble of, oh, I only want to date a light-skinned guy. And let's not even get started on the fact that a lot of people only want to date someone lighter than them because they want their babies to be light and not dark-skinned. I think that's so crazy. And I had that discussion a lot with some teammates in college, where like a lot of boys were like, yeah, I don't want to date no dark-skinned girl. Or a lot of dark-skinned girls are saying like they don't want dark-skinned babies because of what they have to go through, or vice versa. It's just so crazy. It's so sad. You're right. It is so sad.
We have been brainwashed
to think dark is bad.
Yes, to literally demonize melanin.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten so far in our heads, and when I say they, I mean white people. Sadly enough, I don't want to sound racist or crazy.
I mean, it started with them, though.
It really started with them. I feel like they've gotten so far in the African American community's heads that we demonize being black.
And you know what? I think it started with them, but I will say too, like, they're obviously, it's not a white person in every black household. So like, although they kind of started this cycle of things, like I know people whose grandparents like had multiple children but only favored the lighter skinned children, that they had more. So like, it's like generation after generation. So maybe their parents was a slave and they were dark skinned, they weren't treated right, so then they just keep that cycle going with their kids and stuff. So it's like, for me, I think it started with white people, and I think there's a little bit of blame there. But at the end of the day, as far as the society has come, it's like almost an excuse, I feel like, to say, oh, the white people did this to us. They did, but we have a conscious, like...
You understand, you know better.
Yeah, you understand, exactly. You know better, you do better. So if you know that they were wrong for saying the darker, the worse or whatever, then you make the conscious decision to get out of that toxic mentality. But like, people are deciding to stay in it, and I've heard some crazy things of why guys won't date dark skinned girls, down to I touched on my personal channel about how our like private area is darker than our complexion, and a lot of girls think something's wrong with them. Like, they were like, do you have any secrets or hacks of like how to get rid of it or how to make it match my skin tone? And for me, I've been blessed to be raised in a very healthy environment. My mom, my boyfriend, stuff like that, has never made me feel like something's wrong with me having darker spots on my body, or just being chocolate. But I know a lot of girls probably do experience that, and I think it's just so sad, because it's not as easy as just saying, girl, like, you're good, just get over it. Because if it's drilled into you so many times that something's wrong with you because of that, or you're in a stage where you're liking boys and you want them to like you, but they don't like you because you're dark skinned, it's just like, it's such a complex topic.
And I think a lot of that premise, I feel worse for women, because they're the ones that are under the most scrutiny in terms of beauty. And it's really the guy's fault. And I really want to, like, I hope there's at least a couple guys watching. But please don't base love off of a skin
beauty
complexion.
Standards.
Yes. There's so many more levels to beauty than complexion is like literally the surface of surface level things to trip over. Like, if we're really tripping off color in 2019, you're so far behind the pack, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To trip off that is like, you're just shallow at that point. Because don't take this wrong, I've seen plenty of dark skinned beautiful women, light skinned beautiful women, and I would never say that either one was like over the other one because of a skin complexion. They were just beautiful people. She's a beautiful person.
Thank you.
Like, nothing to do with skin. It might be facial structure, I don't know. Like, But the skin alone is not the deal breaker. I don't get it. I really just don't get that. And then that almost kind of breaks into like, I've heard guys go a little deeper, but then it'll be like they'll date him based off like cultural background, because then they'll just think Latino women are kind of spicy and crazy, where there could be like some very reserved, like you don't get to know the person. We need to stop judging books
Surface
extremely
level.
by covers.
Yes.
Because I think that's what's ruining a lot of relationships. You get into it because of the cover, and then you see another cover that looks good
You
too.
are preaching right now, babe.
Yeah.
You are preaching.
It's like, it's the truth though. I feel like that's why relationships get effed over so many times, because you're looking for the wrong things. You're looking absolutely for the wrong thing. The reason why I decided to man the hell up and date you was because I knew you had qualities that I could last with. It was like there are intrinsic things that I was attracted to. Work ethic, hustle, motivation, your head's on straight. You don't like getting out there with a whole bunch of guys. I mean, you had your past relationships, but you were still loyal as hell to these fuck niggas. Like, that stuff, like, all those attributes played into a factor of why I admired and appreciated you. Not once did I cross my head like, yep, that dark skin is something else. It's honestly a perk. For me, I like chocolate.
I was gonna say, you like chocolate, so it was a perk, but it wasn't like a deal maker.
It wasn't like a deal maker or breaker, because I've had relations with other girls, not relationships, just relations, but I've had other relations.
Situationships,
yeah, situationships and flirtationships with other races, skin tones, whatever you have. It's like, it's just the outer shell to what's really beneath, and it's not that their skin tone made or break the relationship or situationship or whatever. It's their personality. Something struck me wrong with like inside. And that's what will literally last you so much longer in a relationship, if you just, for a second, like, okay, if we're talking about skin tone, okay, knock the skin tone out, get to know somebody, then you realize they are literally compatible with you on an entire sense. You're just gonna leave them because their skin
dark or whatever, or light. Yeah. You know, it's crazy too. I remember when we went to the taco fest or something this summer with our friends, and there were some black boys waiting in line. And this is just an example, because this isn't me like, why didn't they holler? But it was just interesting that like me and my best friends, we're all beautiful black girls. And they like paid us no mind, didn't acknowledge us at all. You can tell when somebody's like acknowledging your beauty, or like, but then there's this kind of like foreign looking girl, very light skin, light eyes, just the ideal thing that I guess boys go for now, that rappers rap about, get you a foreign chick. Like, she was like one of those type of people, and they were just like in awe of her, like. And it was just so interesting. I wasn't really offended because I got my man, like, but it was just interesting because that's the reality for a lot of girls who are still single and who feel like, dang, like, I can never look like that, so will anybody ever want to be with me? And I think that's what the girl was kind of trying to get at when she DM'd me this morning. That's why I didn't really take offense to it, because I saw where she was coming from. Like, I got what she was saying, but I hated the way she set it up. I'm trying to calculate how. Yeah. Like, the fact that you even feel you have to calculate, like, the fact that you think this was a calculation at all, you know, why couldn't it just been like it just happened? Yeah. And you know that, as much as I harped on guys about it, it does go both ways, because there are some girls who will be very stuck up about like, who they I only want a chocolate man because a chocolate man knows how to treat me right. Like, you don't even know. So? I've heard that. I've heard that. They'd be like, I can handle a dark skin. Is not gonna be in his feelings or this, that, and the third. Yeah, because they say light-skinned guys. Yeah. Dark-skinned guys, and you don't know that. Yeah, you don't know that at all. Like, your soulmate could be light-skinned, hard as hell, ready to ride or die for you, never leave you for nothing, all that. But you left him in the dust because his skin wasn't dark enough. Like, you just X out a whole category of people. And I think it's sad too, because I feel like we're talking about light skin, brown skin. I'm a dark skinned girl, but technically I'm like brown. We're not talking about like the people who are really dark, like Aquasy. I had an African teammate who was like really chocolate, like almost blue blackish. Yeah. And that's no shade. It's really like there are people with that skin tone. They're like, and they're beautiful to me still, but I feel like they get the real bad end of the stick. whether they're like male or female. People just treat, like, I hated the jokes that people would make about him, about like, oh, like the lights turned off, oh, where's Aquacy, or like you walk on in a parking lot that's like black tar or whatever, and it's like, oh, you match with the parking lot, like shit like that. People say in a joking way, but that hurts. I feel like that really hurts them, but they just laugh it off because they've got it all their life. And it's people like that too, because there's a boy in my high school that I found out, like, he was dark like that, and I found out later on he said he only dates like white girls or really light-skinned girls because he doesn't want his babies to be dark and get like the same treatment or bullshit that he had to experience. So it's just so sad, like, that it's us doing that to each other, though.
Exactly.
It's not like white people. I mean, they might say their stuff back and forth, but like, it's really, what I've seen is black people
doing it to
making jokes about other black people.
It's crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a serious mental issue. They've like infiltrated our minds to literally tear each other apart.
Yeah.
And that's what bugs me.
Or the good hair. Man,
it really bugs
this topic could go on forever.
It really could go on forever and ever and ever. But we wanted to make this video, honestly, to just kind of relay to you guys that color should literally be the last thing on your mind when trying to choose a life partner.
Yeah.
If you're even a little bit religious, understand that the bodies are temporary. If you're looking for a soulmate for an eternity, this body is only the beginning of something everlasting and existential. So if you're looking for the outer beauty, that goes away. Even in this lifetime, that goes away. When they start getting older, you're going to cheat on your woman because she's not as beautiful as she was anymore?
Yeah.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up because you've been looking for the wrong things. If she's been able to stimulate my mind, my soul, my spirit, like, so many things outside of the physical, she's been able to stimulate me and keep me whole or at peace. So there's no reason for me to go looking elsewhere for any other, like, thing. And people miss out on that.
Yeah.
That's what bugs me. People really miss out on that.
And I will say, though, I don't think anything's wrong with having a preference.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to be like, I don't know how to explain it. I personally don't feel like I have a preference. None of my boyfriends have looked alike or anything like that. But I know some people do like the tall, dark, and handsome. But what I'm saying is, it's fine to have like a preference. You want a guy with a six-pack, or you want...
Yeah. Have a preference, but like, don't just be super closed-minded to the fact that
don't
your
be
soulmate
closed-minded.
might just be what you didn't expect.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Like,
you're missing out
yeah,
on so much.
I get if you have
close
a
that
preference.
door. And I think it's interesting too that the girl in the DM was saying, you know, these light-skinned boys don't look my way, or nobody's looked at me. But if you're only looking at light-skinned dudes, then how do you know a dark-skinned brother wasn't checking you out at the bar? But your only focus is trying to figure out why these light-skinned boys aren't giving you attention. That's what we mean by like the closed-mindedness. She is gorgeous, so there probably was people really checking her out, but it wasn't the people she wanted to be checking her out. So that's what we're trying to say with the whole don't be closed-minded and don't be so set in your ways where it's like, this is what I want. You know?
Topic could literally go on for hours.
It could. And I was thinking too, because I was blessed like with my mom and my upbringing, where I never felt like my complexion has ever been a problem in any situation, other than like if I'm playing basketball against like a racist school, you know, and my whole team was like black girls. That's the only time I felt like, oh, my skin complexion matters to others. But other than that, I've never had like a negative experience, I guess, in terms of boys or friends or anything.
Yeah. And oddly enough, I grew up in white.
Yeah, like, full white. So you probably felt
white,
that, right?
And I felt like I was the darkest person. Which is crazy because I'm not, honestly, I'm not even that dark-skinned or melanated. But in a sense, sometimes I aspire to be darker.
Why?
I don't know. I find beauty in it. I honestly find beauty in like being melanated, but that's like, obviously I'm not trying to be a colorist. I'm very happy with where I'm at, but I'm just saying, like, even when I was being praised, I guess, because like people did look to my somewhat darker skin in all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird how some white people aspire to be black, but black people aspire
To be them.
to be white.
Yep.
Crazily enough. Like, I know people are gonna be like, no, I don't aspire to be white, but you aspire to be lighter.
And their feature, like even their features and stuff. So it's like people be with foreign chicks. Essentially, it's like having your cake and candy too. I think in other people, I don't think it's cake and candy, but I think in other people's mind it's like, okay, I want her to have all black girl features. So like a shape, a butt, full lips, stuff like that. But I want her to have white people or lighter, fair people
Skin.
appearance.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no winning. But what I will say, and I try to really instill in my niece too, it doesn't matter if you go through 100 light-skinned guys, like this is an example, 100 light-skinned guys who aren't into you or whatever. All it takes is one person to find your soulmate. And I think people get like so caught up in numbers and stuff sometimes. It's like it could be 100 people who aren't interested in you, but that one is all you need.
The one is the one that
Just
matters.
one person.
Yeah.
If you really don't think you can find one person out of 7 billion plus people in this world, you gotta rethink some things. There's someone out there for everyone. It might not be your preference though, and that's what we keep trying to reiterate. Because
Might not be your quote unquote preference.
right, because colorism is toxic. It runs in families.
It's sad.
Excuse me. It runs through schools. It runs like almost every aspect of life. I feel like it runs through. So it's all about, I feel like, being kind of mentally tough and knowing your worth too. Because I feel like if the girl who DM'd me like knew her worth, because she said, "I know I'm gorgeous," so I don't know why. It shouldn't have been like. It should have been like, "I know I'm gorgeous." Period. So if you already know yourself and you know your worth and you know what you can bring to the table and stuff like that. But you know what? Even now that I'm talking about that, her even saying, "I know I'm gorgeous," what does that mean? What does your inner look like? Because that's exactly what you're just saying. Like we leave these bodies eventually. So like even if you are gorgeous on the outer appearance, that won't keep a guy.
It won't keep like.
But I guess she meant like that's what initially attracts the person to you, to come talk to you.
Yeah.
So I know I'm pretty. Why aren't they talking to me?
But
maybe you're looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I would say like most times when people run into that issue, you're just looking in the wrong places. I actually had a couple run-ins with that when I was in high school.
What?
I went to a white school, and then every now and then I would try and like
Talk to a black girl?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and just got shut down.
You think it's because you were light skinned?
Either that or lame. One of the two. Probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both. But at the same time, some people shot me down without even like talking to me at all.
Mm.
And I was like, how could you have shut me down? Like, my
their
shoes look good. Like,
I'm glad they shut you down.
wearing all the right stuff.
Because you unlocked now.
Yeah. I just chalk it up as that wasn't the person for me.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if you're going to ignore me, I don't want your attention anyway.
Exactly.
I really I'm not going to sit here and fight my whole life for your attention. That's stupid.
And you know it's so interesting too, because the girl's dark skin and she was looking to like light skinned guys, I guess, for validation. But I feel like a lot of dark skinned guys look to light skinned girls for validation. That like they're worthy to be chosen. It's just so interesting.
I want to know who. Honestly, I know who did it. And like white people, like slave masters, did it and embedded it in our ancestors that light was better.
Mm-hmm.
But like we're pushing on 2020. Like next year is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020 vision, clear vision. You know what I'm saying? It all lines up. You know when you put numbers together. I'm a numbers guy. But what I'm trying to say is, when are people really gonna wake the hell up and realize that surface level stuff means nothing?
I think though that a lot of people are only looking for surface level relationships though.
And that's crazy too.
Like just what looks good
For the camera.
Exactly.
And like what looks good on camera.
Exactly.
Not what feels right. What can I be happy with? Like that's another thing. I think a lot of people are concerned with other people's validation. Not just like I'm concerned with your validation because I care about you morally, spiritually, emotionally. At the end of the day, I still will do my own thing if need be. But I do care for your opinion and validation, but I'm not looking to someone watching this to approve of our relationship. And like when I heard that comment about it would be better if she was lighter, it really blew me.
It didn't bother me at all, y'all.
It blew the hell out of me.
And yeah, he was pissed about it. I just didn't care. I was like, because I already know I'm beautiful, and I know like skin tone, like dark skin, light skin, it didn't matter. So I kind of just wrote it off. Like, but I saw a lot of the comments. You guys were mad too, like just as mad as he was. That's why we cut out some stuff in that video that he had said. Cause I was like, nah, that's a little too much, babe.
I was absolutely blown at the fact that they said that. Like, it came at you. That brought me the wrong way. But the level of ignorance in our people to do that to each other, that's what hurts me.
So, you know, it was an assumption type of thing. They were supposed to write assumptions.
Yeah.
Do you think that's how they felt?
If that's how they legitimately felt, I'm even more distraught.
Or do you think they just commented just to throw an assumption out there?
Maybe they commented just to throw an assumption out there to be spicy. Maybe they threw it out there to be funny. I don't know. But I know how it made me feel. And I pray to God that that's not how they really think on a day-to-day basis. Because if they do, that's very sad. That's a sad way to live your life, thinking that.
How would we look any better if I was light-skinned? What, pictures would look better?
I don't know.
That doesn't even make any sense. That goes back to like people are only in relationships for like outer credit, I guess.
It's so crazy to me. It's literally so crazy.
I don't even get it, actually. I don't even know what credit you can get from that.
It really is unfortunate.
And I wish I had like a formula for other black girls who feel like that girl who DM me. I guess all I can really say is like you gotta just know your worth.
And you gotta drop the color yourself.
Yeah, and if you're someone who's like, oh, I only want a light skinned guy to date me or blah blah blah, like that's something you gotta work in within yourself also.
It's okay to see color, but it's not okay to demonize color. That's stupid. I've just seen all sides of the spectrum. I've literally seen a whole spectrum of personalities in every single race. Like you cannot put a certain on somebody else.
Acting light skinned.
Yeah, unless we're talking culturally, because like culturally there is some differences. There's food habits, what we do for fun, how we talk. Okay, I understand cultural differences, but like it's just very weird. Very, very, very weird that people are still stuck on color. Well, we appreciate you guys sitting through our little rant.
Yeah, this really was just a rant because there's no resolution, I feel like.
Besides,
well, yeah, we gave them some stuff.
Open your mind up. Stop being closed-minded. That's like literally the only thing we can tell y'all.
And if you're not one of those people who are closed-minded, but you feel this and you're experiencing colorism from our people or whatever, just remember, and I guess if you're thinking of it in a love interest type of way, just know that your one person is out there for you somewhere. And just one.
You can't let those people's opinions affect your confidence, because confidence is very attractive. And if you don't have confidence in yourself when you're dealing with someone that you may think is out of your league, which you shouldn't if they're a different color, that does not determine whether or not they're out of your league. But
nothing determines someone.
Nothing really determines out of the league for anybody. Really, I think the most attractive thing about her at some your confidence was just there.
Really?
Yeah. You carried yourself with a lot of confidence. Like that's just attractive in itself. No skin tone involved. It was just very confident in the skin or in your light. You could just feel it. But if you're not confident in yourself, that could in itself could be a reason why people aren't attracted to you, because you're just not confident when you're around people like that. Because in your head, now you think you're being judged for being a different skin tone.
Yeah.
That could kill your confidence.
That's true, babe. That's a good point.
So just be confident in who you are. The right person.
Be confident in who you are.
Your vibrations will vibe towards the right person. It happens every time. When you just let go, let the universe work, and just live in your life, the right person just so happens to find their way in every time.
And keep your eyes open.
Yeah, please keep your eyes open.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like we could do a part 2. We would just need a little bit more time to because there's a lot of topics within colorism.
Yeah.
there was just too much to splurt out in just this video alone.
And we kind of just woke up on that.
Yes,
Like,
that's exactly what it was. From the DM,
about it,
and then from y'all comments from the previous video, someone asking would it be better if I was lighter. We were like, we should make a video about this. We just need
to go ahead and nip this in the bud.
Because clearly it's a problem. So yeah, if you guys want us to do like a part 2 or whatever to this, definitely be sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment below.
Public service announcement: colorist will be blocked. She might not approve it, but if I catch it, it's over with for you. I'm sorry, you don't get to be a part of Josh and Issa gang no more.
I'm dead.
We're not accepting that ignorance from here on out. 2019, we're doing spiritual cleanses. Okay, we cleansing away from all that negativity, all that. We are removing
this is rare
from
stuff that ever
atmosphere.
gets Josh upset or like in this mood. It's very rare, so that must have really rubbed you.
Yeah, I just we fought so hard to end racism, and now we're doing it to each other.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But anyways, we're done rambling. So we love you guys. Peace, love, hair grease, and we out.